So 10 we have discussed, 27. Okay. So 11 is done. So we'll go for the 27 today, along with the how to send the multi-frames. Okay. Uh, Fine. Okay. Hmm. So today we are going to discuss another service which is 27. Service 27. So which is the description of service 27, why we use for the service 27 is security access. Okay, so security access. So what exactly mean by security access? I'll give one small example. If everybody uses your smartphones, right? So every time what you will do, you will not allow everybody to use it. You will lock your phone. Why? Because it is, you have your personal information and you have your some of the, like, you need some privacy, and also you don't want, like, some people can hack your mobile and hack your application and take the money from your bank account. Correct, right? It is for the security purpose, where you lock every application also, and every that, I mean, your mobile also, and every application in your mobile also. Correct, right?
Yes.
Yes, similarly, how we have in the CAN network is every ECU will be, like, at the same time in your mobile, you can also remove the complete security unlock also. It is up to you. Correct, right? Similarly, in the ECU also, like in the CAN network also, we have multi ECUs connected, right? So every ECU will not be accessible for everyone. In the sense, when I say it is not accessible for everyone, so let's assume one of the serviceman, instead of, like, who is not trained, or some hacker, I would say, otherwise some normal person who is trying to access that particular ECU with, for the some purpose, and trying to hack that particular ECU to do something, like, nowadays brand is one of the biggest, what we say, the like, biggest market. The market runs on the brand. If someone is showing that this brand ECUs are like, if he or she is able to hack it, then it is like a kind of the bad name for the brand itself. So for that purpose, if someone is trying to hack it, of course they will be, uh, letting the market know that it is hackable and the security is not tight and it is very easy. So that is the purpose, what everybody does, every manufacturer company does. They need like, they need the complete security for every ECU, as much as possible, like, very tight. So they have to use the algorithm which are very much strong, or which are, I would say, very much hard to decode it. Okay. So how exactly it is comes under, like, when it comes to the service 27, it is for the security access. And why we are exactly doing the why we have actually provided the security for the every ECU. And UDS, as we know, this is a this will be used by the servicemans who is actually validating the ECU once after the ECU gone to the production and the car is on the manufacture, nothing but car is on the road. Okay. So once you take your car to the service station, what the serviceman does, he will take one of the UDS tool and he will send a first to like, request to validate this particular ECU. So for example, 1003. After that, so it will enter into the extended session. But after that, it, like, nothing but, what is 1003 is nothing but a application. So what application will be containing? Main functionalities, correct, right? We have discussed. In the default session, it will be having only basic functionalities. How about the programming session or the bootloader?
02.
Yeah, 0 to find what it contains. Why we need programming session or bootloader? Why we need? We have discussed why we need default. Why we need application.
It is a lyric check for memory checking and hard hard.
Okay, so for that purpose, so whenever you are doing the checking, so in the when it comes to the application, you are doing the main functionality. So as per the UDS, what we have to do, that main functionality, some of the algorithms checking will be done by the services. For that purpose, what you do, like, okay, for example, if you are applying the brake in practically, how you will apply the brake, you will press the brake pedal. So but when when you are checking by using the UDS tool, how you are going to apply the brake? By using the service. There is one service for the functionalities that we will see later, but the thing which you guys have to understand here is, to perform the main functionality, there will be some of the preconditions, because you cannot directly enter into perform the functionalities. Nothing but you cannot directly enter and apply the brake. So for that, first of all, since it is applying the brake itself is the main functionality, so main functionality present inside the application, so you have to enter into the application first, and then you have to unlock the ECU. So when I say unlock the ECU, nothing but, since the applying of the brake, it's the main functionality of that particular ECU. So it could, like, there would be a someone can hack it, or some because of the some unknown source can apply the brake easily. So that is the purpose, the main functionalities in the ECU will be secured. So that's to perform that secured functionality, you have to unlock the ECU, otherwise it will be locked, otherwise it will not provide you the access to perform the functionality. It will provide you the NRC 31, which is, sorry, 33, which is security is not unlocked. ECU is in locked state. So please do unlock the security by using the 27 service. Otherwise, you cannot perform the functionality of applying the brake. So that is the reason you will be requiring the 27 service to unlock the ECU. Is it clear? The basic info?
Yeah.
Okay. So how exactly you are unlocking the ECU by using the service 27? So there is a concept of seed and key. So here the seed and key concept is, so assume it is your client or tool or you, nothing but as the tester or the serviceman, anyone who is having the diagnostic tool, who is testing the or validating the ECU. So if you are sending the request of 2701, then it is nothing but 2701 is nothing but it is a requesting for the seed. Seed in the sense you can consider it is some of the input values which is from the who know, like only ECU knows this value with, like, based on the algorithm which has been created by the developers. Okay, that algorithm keeps on varying on every project, because for the security purpose. So there will not be any constant seed, like, or even developers should not share any algorithms across anyone. And sometimes it is already created in your stage. Basically at this time of stage you will not be creating any algorithm. You the algorithms will be already present. You will just copy paste that algorithm based on the client request for your project. So what is exactly that seed meaning is a input from that algorithm. So the algorithm will be created by using the polynomial equation. That polynomial equation will be provided by the client, which is different for each project. So the output from this algorithm will is called seed. This seed will be different every time whenever you request the seed from the ECU. So how you request the seed from the ECU? By using the service 27 with the subfunction 01. So ECU will be responding back to you with the seed. So what is the if it is positively responding with the seed, what is the first, like, what is the how you will identify it is a positive response?
By adding 40 to the that service ID.
Yes, please add it and tell me.
27 plus 40, 6701.
Very good. 6701 along with the seeds. So let's say as of now we are considering four number of seeds, and number of seeds is also not constant, depends on the algorithm and the requirement from the client. Sometimes it could be four bytes of seeds, sometimes it could be 8 bytes of 8 bytes of seeds, depends on the algorithm of the requirement. Seed, as of now in our example I'm considering four bytes of seed 1, seed 2, seed 3, seed 4. So 4 bytes of seeds you will be receiving from the ECU. So once you receive this seed, you have to calculate the key. Okay, so there is no manual, I mean, we as a tester you can calculate the keys manually, and also we will be receiving a tool from the client itself with his algorithm, because the client itself, nothing but, take an example, you are working on a BMW project and BMW manufacturer doesn't want anybody to know his algorithm, so it will not be known by the developer also, it will not be known by the testers also, where they will secure that particular portion of the code. And for testers they will provide one of the tool which is already included with the DLL file. So using the tool you can unlock the ECU. Okay, so that how it is unlocking the ECU. So this tool will be configured with the algorithm already, where whenever you read the 2701 you will get the seed, this seed. So whenever you get this seed, the tool will be automatically calculating the key, and once it is calculated the key, it will send to the ECU. So where with the 27 service 02, key 1, key 1, key 2, key 3, key 4. So tool has calculated the key and send the keys to the ECU. So if this the same key will be also calculated inside the ECU. So the key which is calculated by your tool, nothing but you, and the key which is calculated inside the ECU, if both are matching, then only it will unlock the ECU. So then only you will get the positive response for like 2702, wherever you send the key 6702. Otherwise you will be receiving the NRC 35, which is invalid key. Okay, so first you will, oh, once again guys. So first you will send the 2701 to by requesting the seed from the ECU. So ECU will respond back to you with the seed 6701 S1, S2, S3, S4. So by using this seed, you have to calculate the keys, which will be done by the tool. So you will be sending whatever you calculated the key based on the input of the seed which you have received. Similarly, ECU will calculate its own key based on the inputs which it has been provided to you. So it will also calculate the key, you will also calculate the key. Then whatever you have calculated the key, that you will be sending with the 2702, key 1, key 2, key 3, key 4. If these keys are proper and matched with the key whatever has been generated inside the ECU, if it is matching, then it will provide you the positive response 6702. That's it. So suppose the key whatever you have calculated is wrong, so that time ECU will be providing a negative response which is 7F27 with the negative response code called 35, which is invalid key. Invalid key, whatever the key you have provided to the ECU to unlock the ECU which is secured, it is not matching with the key which has been calculated within the ECU based on the seed which has been sent. Clear? Hello, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's say you are sending the key again, because anyway first time it is wrong. Whatever the key you have calculated is wrong. So you will not stop at that time only, right? Again you will calculate the key. Again you will send the key. Nothing but by using the 2702 key 1, key 2, key 3, key 4. You will send again. So again it is wrong. It is not matched with the ECU. Again it will send the response 35, which is a invalid key. So do you really think it will be keep on sending you the NRC 35 whenever you are sending the wrong keys? So there should be a limit, right? To
Yeah.
for attempt also. In your mobile also you can attempt only 5 to 6 times. After that what happens? It will be getting logged for 30 seconds. It will not allow you to provide the input itself. Correct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, similarly here also what happens? First it will be, we will be having a 3 to 5, depends on the client request. If client wants 3, then the limit will be 3. If client wants 5, then the limit will be 5 number of counts. So if you are sending 3 times wrong key or 5 times wrong key, then what happens? ECU will be locked. ECU will be locked. When I say ECU will be locked, in the sense it will go to the bootloader, where it will not provide the, it will jump to the bootloader from the application. Nothing but is, what is the meaning? So you will not, you are not supposed to do any main functionalities in because the control is in the bootloader. Anyway, in the bootloader, once the control goes to the bootloader, ECU will not respond any transmission messages, and there will be a no main functionality will be taken care in the bootloader. Correct, right? So it's kind of logged from any of the main. Nothing but if you consider your mobile, it will be logged. So where you cannot provide, you cannot open your WhatsApp or Instagram or Facebook. Those are all the main functionality in your mobile embedded system. So which is nothing but, when it is locked, it is in a bootloader state where it will not be doing anything. It will, it will be just counting in on that. So similarly here also ECU will be locked for 10 seconds. Nothing but the ECU is in the bootloader state, not in the application state, where it will not allow anyone to perform any of the action in that particular ECU. Okay. So let's say when the ECU is locked, anyway your mobile is the end user. You are the end user. That is the reason it will not allow you to do anything. Nothing but it is completely locked. But as a tester of this ECU, like just consider mobile as a ECU and you have multiple mobiles which is performing something. That's it. So here as a tester, you are not the end user. You are a tester. So you are, you will be having a access to send the same request again and again with the wrong key, even though ECU is locked. So now ECU is locked for 10 seconds, but still you are sending the request of 2702 along with the keys, which is a wrong key. So what happens at that time? You will get NRC 36. What does it meaning? Timeout. Nothing but you have, timeout is not over yet. You have to wait until the timer expires. Nothing but ECU is locked for 10 seconds. Even though you request any, like if you are trying to unlock the ECU with the proper key or wrong key, any key you give, you will give the you will get the NRC 36 stating timeout is not, the ECU is not expired with the timeout. Still it is in the locked state. Clear?
Yes.
Yes. And there we have another NRC. Give me a second. I'll just take the name of that 30. Okay. I'll share one of the Excel sheet. In this, you have every NRCs whichever is supported on every service. Which is, I did it easy for everyone to understand. Sorry, that 37, that required timeout delay not expired is NRC 37. So NRC 36, you have exceeded the number of attempts. Nothing but after the 5 number of counts, still like you are requesting, you are providing the keys. That time you have, and you have exceeded the number of attempts. You will get NRC 36, and then ECU will be locked for 10 seconds. So if you still request the wrong key, that time you will be getting, where is NRC 37, which is timeout is not expired yet. So I'll repeat it again quickly. The first one is positive response, where you will get the seed by using the request 2701. So ECU will respond back to you with the 6701 S12 S5 seed. So by using this 5 bytes of seed, you have to calculate the key and send the request to the ECU in the 2702 key 1 to key 5. So if these 5 keys are matching with the key which has been generated inside the ECU, then it will provide the positive response 6702. Nothing but ECU is unlocked. You can do any of the function inside the ECU. So suppose if you are providing the wrong key for the first time, you will get the negative response 7F2735. So 35 is the NRC code, nothing but a negative response code to showcase that it is the key whatever you have sent is a wrong key, and then you are allowed to send, you have the limit of only 5 times. So second time you will get the NRC 35, third time you will get the NRC 35, fourth time you will get the NRC 35, fifth time also if you are sending the wrong key, you will get the NRC 35. Suppose if you are sending the sixth time the wrong key, then you will get 7F2736, where it says you have exceeded the number of limits, and ECU will be locked for 10 seconds. So in this time, wherever the EC is locked, again you will send the wrong key or right key. You send that if you are requesting the nothing but to unlock the EC, if you are requesting 2702 with any key wrong or right, you will get the NRC 37. So where it is showing timeout is not expired yet. Still you have 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds. So try after timer is expired. Clear?
Yes.
This is all about NRC 35, 36, 37. Okay. So if it is clear, as we know, in the one particular frame, we can send only 8 bytes of data. Okay. So now, correct, right? We can send only 8 bytes of data, right? In the protocols which we have discussed, even in the CAN, even in the UDS. Correct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, what is the solution? If we can send only 8 bytes of data in a single frame, of course, in the CAN, sometimes we need, multiple data to be sent. So, what do you think we have the solution in the CAN? And also in the UDS also, as we know, only we can send 8 bytes of data in the UDS protocol as well. But let's say assume in the seed itself, whenever you are requesting the seed or whenever you are sending the key, instead of 4 to 5 number of seeds or keys, assume you have 8 to 9, at least assume 10 seed. 10, whenever you have 10 seed, of course you have to calculate 10 bytes of key. So that time how you will send the key, 10 bytes of key, because you can send only 8 bytes of data in a single frame, and how the ECU will be sharing you the 10 bytes of seed in a frame. So what is the solution do you think for we have on UDS or on CAN?
You can send data one by one. Okay. One key,
One
completion of
by
one
one.
key.
Okay. Okay, so it is not that way. In CAN, what we have, there is another protocol, nothing but an extension or improvement of the CAN protocol, which is called CAN FD, which is the flexible data. So in the CAN, it is restricted to have nothing but the standard says that you have to have, you are ECU. So can send only 8 bytes of data in a single frame. So you cannot change that. You cannot just, improve, provide the more memory to just for the sending or receiving purpose, the data in a single frame. It is not possible. So the if it is you are doing nothing but you are not following the standard, so it is not acceptable in the market. So what we have the solution for that, we have the CAN FD protocol, which is a improvement of CAN FD meaning flexible data. In this CAN FD protocol, you can send 64 bytes of data in a single frame, nothing but in the data field itself. This is the improvement, this is the solution they have come up with the communication protocol. And it is since it is a completely new protocol, it has its own CAN frame structure, like how we have seen for the CAN and so on. So we are not in this course, we are not in depth, we are not going on CAN FD, it is only on CAN. And anyway, there is no much difference between the CAN and CAN FD. The only difference between these two in the data frame structure also it is very less, but I'll say only the advantages of CAN FD over the CAN. Why exactly we have come up with the CAN FD? One is the payload in the sense how many bytes of data we are sending in a single frame, which is 8 bytes of data in a CAN, but in CAN FD we can send up to 64 bytes of data in a actual data in the data field. So the second one is in the CAN, what is the data rate on the CAN? What's the data rate in the CAN?
Mbps.
Okay, we can use maximum up to 1 megabits per second, but in practically we use 500 kbps. Okay, so but in the CAN FD, since we have already discussed, it is a improvement of the CAN. The data rate has been increased up to 8 megabits per second, 8 Mbps. In practically, we use 5 Mbps. And what is this 8 mega and 5 mega? I already gave the example of Jio and Airtel. It is same. Okay. The next is UDS. So what is a solution? They have come up with the UDS when they want to send more bytes of data in the UDS. They have come up with the concept called consecutive frames. Consecutive frames. So what is this consecutive frames? So whenever you are sending let's say you are requesting a seed 2701. So ECU is responding with the 5 bytes of seed. Then it will be like this. S3, S4, S5. So overall how many bytes you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the DLC will be 7. So including the DLC, how many bytes has become in a single frame? 8 bytes of data. So in a single frame, it is covered. Correct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say in the same manner, your client wanted security more and the algorithm bit is more tough. So what the algorithm gives you the 10 seats. 10 seats, not the 5 bytes of seats. It will the algorithm provides the 10 bytes of seats. So that time how will you will request the same way 2701. So how the ECU responds to you with the 10 bytes of seat, because in a single frame we can we can send only 8 bytes of data, which we have seen in the above example. Okay, so now if if you are sending or if you are getting the response from the ECU, or if you are requesting to the ECU in a single frame, that is called single frame. This is called single frame. Okay, so in our example, what we are going to learn now is when the ECU wants to send more bytes of data, or you want to request the more bytes of data, that time, so it will not send in a single frame, it will go for the multi-frame concepts, multi-frames. So when I say multi-frame, how it is constructed? So again, it is a standard. You have to use the the way I am explaining, that's how you have to use it for the development or for the testing purpose. In the development, like whatever you develop, you have to use this number 6701 or 2701. Numbers never changes. On the services and the sub functions, whatever we are discussing, it never changes. If you know this, then only you can develop by using the whatever the language you want to. Here the syntax is not important, the concept is important. Syntax, if like any not, you don't need to be a developer to develop the code if you know the syntax. Okay, so even though, I mean, you don't need to know the syntax to develop any code or anything. What you want to know is the concept. If you know the concept, the syntax is available everywhere. Even in the tool itself, you can just click on the help section, you will get every syntax. Syntax is not something like you have to learn to be a developer or a tester. Even testers does the scripting, where it is also called as a coding. Not like like testing in the sense, don't think that you are not going to code or you are not going to script. No, nothing like that. You have to write your own code to test the software which is developed by the developers. Okay, so for every whatever you are going to be a developer or tester, the language is not, the syntax is not what you require, because without knowing the syntax, everybody can, if they know the like the concept or what they want to develop or test it, syntax will be automatically known by the tool itself. It is free, everyone gives the syntax. Okay, so as we got to know, we need a multi-frame, like which will the multi-frame concept will be used by the ECU to send the multiple frames with the 10 bytes of seed. So to do this concept multi-frame creation, we have one the concept called first is first frame and then consecutive frame. First frame and consecutive frame. So first it will start with the first frame and then it will continue with the consecutive frames. There is no second frame, third frame, fourth frame. No, it's only one frame. If it is a single frame, as we already discussed, it is only 8 bytes of data on the single frame. That is called a single frame. When you have more than 8 bytes of data to be requested as a tester or as a client, when ECU has to respond back to you with the multiple frames, nothing but a more than 8 bytes of data, then it will consider the concept of multi-frames. In this multi-frames, it will be constructed the first frame and the consecutive frames. There is no second, third, fourth, fifth. It is only the first frame and the consecutive frames will be continued. So the first frame will be starting with the 0, 1. Let me open the PPT so that it is easy if you see it. Yes. Okay. Anyway, single frames we have already discussed. The first frame. So in the first frame, let me put it in this way. Okay. So far how we used to write? I used to write something like, let's take an example of 2701. So what is the DLC for this? Very good. 02. So whenever I'm writing 02, 2701, what is this?
Seed request.
This is seed request, fine. But what I'm asking is
To unlock
the,
the ECU for security.
yeah. So when I say 2701, whatever you're saying, you are right. So the day in generally, whenever you write 02 or 03 or 04, whatever you write, this is
Default
called
system.
No, just listen. So whatever you write, you can write 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever you write. This is called 1 byte. It's in exa. You guys know, right? And we have also already discussed. So if you have to convert this into a binary, whenever you convert this into a binary, so I'll convert the 02 now, which is a DLC. So if I convert this 0 to DL, this 0 to D, give me a second, guys. Huh. Whenever if I convert this 0 to, which is a DLC, convert into binary 0 to
Four
0
zeros,
0 1 0, 4 zeros.
0010.
Very good. So this is called
2.
higher nibble. I mean, in Exa it is 2. I am saying this is called higher nibble. Another name for the 4 bits is called a nibble. So since it is a LSB and it is MSB, you know what is LSB and MSB, right?
Least significant bit, right?
Yes. And MSB?
Most significant bit.
Yes. The least significant bits, which the 4 least significant bits are called, sorry, not higher, lower nibble. And most significant bits are called higher nibble. Okay. So this one particular byte is applicable to provide the DLC, which is the data length code. In this, if it is a first frame, I mean, this is DLC completely. Let me. So now you see it is a single, now we are talking about the single frame because our request is only 3 bytes of data. Okay, so if it is a single frame, you know already what is higher nibble and lower nibble. In the lower nibble only we will provide the message length, nothing but in the single frame you can send only 8 bytes of data. So you can provide 08. Only that much. You cannot provide 09 because 09 is 9 is in the hexa, 9 is in the decimal. What is the value of 9 in decimal?
3 zeros 1 and 4 4 1 1 1 1.
I asked in decimal. It, yeah, again, it's same. But if you write in decimal, it is not applicable because you have only 4 bits of data to represent. So in the single frame, you can, that is the reason you can send only up to 8 bytes of data. This is the 4 lower nibbles are applicable for DLC. Similarly, now I am going to consider the multi-frame where I already said that it will start with the name called first frame. So how you will construct this first frame? So how it will be constructed, meaning it will start the identifier. I mean, now I am writing the identifier which I was not writing before because it was clear already. Identifier and then the 1 0. It's 0 1. Yeah, it's 0 1. Nothing but what you are writing, you are like, this higher nibble shows that it is a first frame. It's a first frame. I think it is 1 0, not the 0 1. Let me see one of. Yeah, it is 1 0,
1
not
0.
the 0 1. It is uh, the first frame starts with the identifier and then 1 0. If it is starting with the 1 0, this one represents it is a first frame where the higher nibble will be 1. So here in the multi frames, what is the difference do you see is there will be another byte for the DLC, including the lower nibble and the complete 1 byte. It's applicable for the DLC. In the single frame, we had only 1 byte. In that, Only lower nibble was applicable for the DLC. So in the multi-frames, what we have, how much is the length? 1 byte plus 4 bits. So overall, how many bits?
9
8
bits.
plus 4.
9 bits.
12 bits.
No, I'm asking
9,
in a bits, not in bytes.
9 bits total.
9 bits. How come? What is the...
Because you said 10, right? It is
Uh-huh.
the first frame, no? So
Uh-huh.
there is a data which is for consecutive frame.
Mm-hmm.
For that one, second frame, I mean consecutive frame, there is a length of 1 byte, and in the standard frame, there is a 8 bytes of the data. Total 9 bytes.
No, it's wrong. I mean, don't go for consecutive frames. I didn't even go for the consecutive frame. I mean, still in first frame. Now my question is simple. 1 byte is equal to how many bits?
8 bits.
8 bit.
Yes. So you agree 8 bits is applicable for the DLC. So 1
Okay.
nibble is equal to how many bits? What is a nibble? Just now we have seen higher nibble, lower nibble.
1.
1
1
4
nib
bits.
like 4 bits. Very good. So 4 plus 8, how many bits?
12 bits.
Yes. So DLC in the multi-frame configured with the 12 bits, not 9 bits. That's what I showed here. 1 byte plus 1 nibble, lower nibble. It is nothing but in the bits, it is 12 bits. Clear?
Is clear.
Yes. Now tell me how many bytes of data you can send in the multi-frame. As per the DLC, you got to know it is 12 bits. How many bytes of data you can send in multi-frames? As per, like, first of all, when I say how many bytes of data you can send, it's nothing but it is totally depends on the DLC, right? So how many bytes of data you can send in the multi-frame?
24.
No,
68.
no.
In the single frame, right?
Not only in the okay, in the single frame only you are writing the DLC. And the
Okay, 8
DLC
bits.
size, it's 8
8
bits.
bytes. 8 bytes.
The size itself, it's 12 bytes.
Okay. Now you told me.
The size itself is the 12 bits are applicable for the DLC. So how many bytes of data you can send in the multi-frames? Do the calculation. What's 2 to the power of 12? You guys need this much of time to do. Open the calculator and do 2 to the power of 12.
4095.
Yes.
4095.
So you can send 0 to 4095 bytes of data in a multi-frame. Clear? Maximum, I'm saying. Is it clear?
Yeah.
The first frame. In the first frame, you are providing the DLC where you can provide the number in the DLC like the which is 12 bits of data which is applicable for the DLC. So you can provide the number 4095. When I say number means what? 4095 bytes of data. 4095 bytes of data you can create in the multi-frame. The first frame is the first frame and you have provided the DLC as a 4095, nothing but you are going to create the 4095 consecutive frames. Okay, nothing but you are going to send the 4095 bytes of data using the multi-frame. Okay, let's write now. So the first frame is, I will write down the DLC as, so first frame is 10, DLC is anyway 10 bytes of data, which we already know that we have to calculate the 10 keys. Correct, right? So 10 in the sense in hexa it is 0A, not 10. So 10 if you mention in decimal, what is the decimal value of 10? Hello? Please open your calculator and convert 10 in hexa. Sorry, in decimal.
1010.
That's in binary. Okay. I'll show. See, whenever you have the uh, calculator like this, you have to click on programmer. So here you can see hexa, decimal and binary. So here whatever you are providing, it's a 0A. If I provide 0A in decimal, it is 10. That's what I have given here. It is as a 10 bytes of keys which I am going to send it. 0A. So the next is you have to send the keys, right? Or you are getting the seed from the ECU also. Anything is fine. So now ECU is sending you the keys. So 67, 01, key 1, key 2, key 3, key 4. How many bytes of data done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in one frame, how many bytes of data you can send?
8.
Yes. So 8 bytes
8.
of data is constructed in a single frame. So, but you have the keys, more keys. You have provide like seed. Anything is fine. You are sending or you are getting. Both will be in a same manner. So you have sent only the 4 bytes of keys now. But still you have how many bytes of key left out? 6 bytes of key left out. So what you have to do is in the next frame, it is called a consecutive frames. The consecutive frames will be starting with the 2 and starting the sequence with the 1, 21, and continue the data key 5, key 6, key 7, key 8, key 9, key 10. How many bytes of data it is? It has become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have still one more byte to finish the frame, which will be padded with 55 or 00 or FF. This is called consecutive frame, and consecutive frames continues like this: 22, 23, any data, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and there is no 30, it's 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, 2E, 2F. So after the 2F, again it will repeat with the 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Because how many you have? Like how many bytes of data you can send? Up to 4095 bytes of data. If you want to send 4095 bytes of data, this is how you have to create your frame with the multi-frame by using the consecutive frame. Here you have only 10 bytes of data to send. That is the reason one consecutive frame is enough. Understood?
Yeah.
Okay. So if it is clear, I'm moving on. If any doubts, please ask me now itself. This is the concept of multi-frame. How you have to construct the multi-frame. Understand the first frame and the consecutive frame? Understood?
But which is the most frame we'll use in real time, okay?
In real time, both. See, anyway, you are not going to work on only 8 bytes of data. Only one frame. You are never going to work on only one frame. If you are just entering into the extended session or entering into the default or anything, this is only the, like, the single frame which you will get the response. But assume if you are doing the 27, or we have another services where you have to perform the functionalities by using the 37 service, and where you have to write the memory by using the 3D, and where you have to write the DID by using the 2E. This time you will be having a memory address and the data to be written, everything. So that time you cannot send the request in a single frame, because the memory size will be like, the starting address will be the 4 bytes of data, and then again data will be 4 bytes of data, so it will become more. So the request, you have to construct your multi frames by using the consecutive frames. So from the next service, whenever we discuss the 3D 2E service, I want you guys to tell me the request. That is the reason I have explained how the multi frames will be constructed and how you have to construct the multi frame. Clear? Okay. So is it clear, guys, or any doubts? Okay. So if there is no doubt, so I will move on to the same. I mean, we have not finished the multi-frame completely. We are still having the multi-frame concept to be completed. So let's say you are getting the, like, anyway, ECU is providing the 10 seats, and you know how it is getting constructed now. So I want someone to tell me the, like, anyway we have seen only the keys. Now I want someone to tell me the response from the ECU to send the 10 kits fast. So my request is 2701. Yes, the response.
10
10
47 0A
0A. We will come back to this.
67
67.
and keys.
I'm asking seats. This is the response from the ECU, right?
Yes.
Yeah, tell me the numbers and seats, meaning how many seats?
It may be 6 seats.
Are you sure?
3,
If you are
7,
writing the 6 seats on the in this first frame itself, then 6 plus 3.
9.
Yes.
Oh,
Can you
send
send 9 bytes of data in a single frame?
no. 8 bytes of the data. That's
Yes,
why we
please say S1, S2 like that.
S1, S2, S3, S4, S5 up to
S1, S2, S3, S4,
and S5 also.
S5. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
A single frame.
Yeah. Next.
Consecutive frame
Uh-huh.
21.
Very good.
Then only remaining keys is S6, S7, S8, S9, S10.
So the remain unused bytes is there. No, in single frame you can send 10 bytes of data. So how
Seven.
many became? 2, 4, 6, 8.
7.
Okay, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay, so there is an unused byte, no, that will be filled with the 00 or FF or 55 based
Right.
on the default requirement based on your project.
Right.
Okay, so I hope this is clear. So one thing needs I want to confirm, which is on the DLC. While writing the, okay, tell me now. So 1003. What is the DLC for this?
2 bytes.
Yes. Now
2 bytes.
you are sending you see you sending the 10 bytes of seed. So what is the DLC here now? What you have to consider?
0A.
And you missed the subfunction also.
Oh, sorry.
6701 and then seats. That is the reason SY will not come. It will be stopped in the S4. Then it will go to the next consecutive frame. Starts with the S5, S6, S7, S8, S9, S10.
Total 8 bit.
Yes. I mean, you missed one byte, which is a
Yes.
subfunction. That is the reason you one byte came in the first frame. So now tell me the DLC. You have a 10 bytes of seed plus service plus subfunction. So 0A is the data ka DLC
It is a
plus
DL.
service. Sorry.
It is a DLC, right?
Yeah, this
0.
is DLC. Okay, you have told DLC as 02 for this one. What did you consider?
Service aid and
Correct,
support.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, you have considered only these two. Now assume ECU is providing the response for this with the 5003. 2 bytes is for the how it will respond. What is the response?
I didn't get what you are saying there.
Yeah, I'm asking response for the application. Whenever you have requested for the application, you are getting the response now. 5003. What is the next bytes?
4 bits of the data seed. Mean key.
Key, seed. I'm
Seed, right?
asking, I'm asking about the 10.
No, yes, one.
Oh my God, this is not about the seed or key. We are talking about the different service itself. I'm talking about the service 10. What is the response?
T03
Hmm?
plus P2 timer and P2 start timer.
Yes. So what 2 bytes is for the P2 and 2 bytes is for the P2 star. Now tell me what is the DLC here?
4 bytes. 04.
4. 1, 2, 3,
6
4,
bytes.
5, 6. Very good. 6 bytes of data. Now tell me what is the DLC here?
12.
12. Very good. So 12 in the hexa.
Zero C.
Very good. So the DLC will be 10 bytes of data, but including the subfunction and the service, you have to write your DLC.
Ma'am, can you erase this and completely seed request and
Yeah,
seed?
we will write here. We will write here.
Now I can understand where
Yeah.
I'm.
So yeah, 10 bytes of data where we are getting from the ECU. 10 bytes itself is the data. I have requested 02 2701. Now you start telling me the response. You said it right, 10. DLC I will write it as of now, I'll write it as XX. We will come back to that. 67
7
01.
0 1 S1 S2 S3 S4
Yes. Next is consecutive frame.
21 S5 S6 S7 S8 S9 S10.
Yes. Now tell me the DLC.
10 2 0 C.
Very good. Understood now where you made the mistake?
Yes. Now I got it.
Okay. So now this is clear. So now the next concept is flow frame. Nothing but flow control. Okay. So first of all, flow control in the sense it's all about, like whenever EC is sending the 10 bytes of data, nothing but one is first frame, another one is consecutive frames. So let's say assume you have 5 more consecutive frames with the more bytes of data. Now it is not 0C. Assume like kind of 29. So nothing but you have more consecutive frames with the 22, 23, 24. Okay. So if the ECU is sending more bytes of data, then it has to check the capacity of the client, whether client is able to receive. Capacity in the sense, does the client is in sync with the ECU, and it is vice versa also. Nothing but where whenever you are requesting multi frames of data to the ECU, when you are requesting multi frames data to the ECU, even you have to make sure ECU is in sync with you. Okay, so how do you make sure the syncing between the you and ECU and ECU and you? In CAN, how we have make sure? By using the bit stuffing. Correct, right?
Yes.
So in the UDS protocol, how are we making sure that, okay, whatever I'm requesting, it has been received by the ECU completely. If it is a single frame, we will get the response immediately. Assume it is a more bytes of data which you are requesting and ECU is responding with the more bytes of data. That time ECU needs a confirmation that you are still awake and you are able to receive the data and you are in sync with the ECU. So how exactly it is? Make sure by the ECU or make sure by the client. It requires a confirmation between the both the side, in the client on the ECU, from the side of ECU also, because sometimes you will request more bytes of data, sometimes ECU responds more bytes of data. So whenever there is a more than 8 bytes of data, nothing but when the multi frame comes into picture, there is a requirement for the confirmation of the syncing between the client and the ECU. So how are we making sure the synchronization between the client and the UDS tool and the ECU in the UDS protocol? So it is very simple. We have a concept called flow control. So the flow control will be automatically sent by the ECU when there is a request from the client side. Let me write down in this way so that you will understand. So client is requesting a one request which is a more than 8 bytes of data. For example, write data by identifier. As of now, you don't know this, but still. So for that purpose, anyway, it's fine. So by using the 3D service, you will try to write the memory address, this 4 bytes of memory address with the 4 bytes of data. This is the starting address and this is the byte of data and this is the y data. Anyway, you don't have to worry about the request as of now. So let's say this is the first frame and let's say this is the consecutive frames which you are sending to the ECU. So ECU of course has to respond back to you with the positive response. It could be multi-frame or it could be single frame based on your request. In this case, it will be responding back to you with the single frame itself. Okay, where it provides the positive response plus 40 to the 3D which is 70 and like sub function will be present. Anyway, we will see that later. So whenever you are sending this request to the ECU, you have to make sure after the first frame, you need a confirmation from the ECU that it is still awake and it is still have the capacity to accept your request, and ECU is in sync with you first of all, which means everything whatever I was explaining. So how you will, as a client or a tester or user, whatever, you are the client, nothing but you are the tool. So how you will make sure ECU is in sync with you? So that is based on this flow control, where ECU will be responding to you with the flow control once after the first frame. So in between, ECU will be responding with the flow control. After the flow control only, your request will be received by the ECU. So what is this flow control meaning? Flow control concept comes into picture only when there is a concept of multi-frame. Nothing but when you are sending or ECU sending more than 8 bytes of data. Okay. Flow control comes into picture. So flow control is used to make sure the both the client and the server, nothing but tool and the ECU are in sync. Okay. So you are requesting 3D some data of 8 bytes of data in a first frame. and then in the consecutive frame some 8 bytes of data. So you have a two frames. One is first frame and consecutive frames. Consecutive frame. When you send the first frame to the ECU, this first frame you will send to the ECU, and ECU will be responding back to you with the flow control. After this flow control only, you the second nothing but the consecutive frames will be received by the ECU. So this flow control meaning, the flow control frame looks like this: 30000000. Anyway, we will see why it is 0000. So whenever it starts with the 3, if it is starting with 1, this is called first frame. If it is starting with 2, this is called consecutive frame. If it is starting with 3, this is called flow control frame. Okay. So this is, if it is starting with the 3, it is a flow control frame which has been sent as in our example, which is sending by the ECU. And what is the next? This lower nibble. This lower nibble is to identify whether we have to wait. Nothing but ECU is telling us, I do not have the capacity, or I cannot accept your frames as of now. You have to wait. Otherwise, you can keep on sending the data. Otherwise, there is some problem with me. I cannot accept your data. So these are the status we will get in this particular lower byte. If it is 0, nothing but you don't have to wait. Send all the consecutive frames. Okay, send all the consecutive frames. 0 meaning, in the place of 0, if it is 1. So if it is 1, then it says that I have to wait. Okay, I have to wait until I send the next consecutive frame. Because something is wrong, I want you to wait for me for some time. I will let you know when I am, able to accept your request. So that is the meaning on this. Give me guys 1 second, guys. Okay. Sorry for that. I'll take the new one. Okay. So 30, whenever it is starts with the 3, you already got to know it is a control frame, flow control frame. So the next lower bits, it's the flow status. Nothing but you will get to know the status. If it is, this is a 0, which means you keep on send, continue to send. Suppose if it is a 1, nothing but you have to wait before you send the consecutive frames. If it is a 2, then it is called overflow. Nothing but something is wrong with me where my buffer size is exceeded. So that time it will say that overflow, nothing but you cannot send any other consecutive frames. We will see what is block size later. But these are the status you will find in this lower byte. 0 means continue send, keep on sending. I do not have any, nothing but continue send the data. You do not have any issue. 1 means wait for some time. I will let you know when to send it. 2 means overflow. Something is wrong. Nothing but I am, over exceeded with the buffer size. I cannot receive your message now, and it is overflow. I cannot receive at all. So the client will be not sending any request to the ECU. Okay, so 30. Next is 00, which I have written 3000. The next byte is called buffer size. This buffer size meaning, if it is 00, the buffer size, if it is 00, it indicates that the sender, nothing but this is sending by the ECU based on its capacity, right? So ECU is telling that if the ECU is sending 00, that is meant by you don't need any more flow control frames from my side to send the other consecutive frames. Nothing but you have one consecutive, assume you have 10 consecutive frames to be sent to the ECU. So if the ECU is responding with the control frame with the 00 in the block size, which means, sorry, not the buffer, it is called a block size. So which means ECU is telling you do not require the, there is no more use of the, like you do not require the any other flow control frames. Only one this control frame is enough. If it is 00, it is stating I will not be sharing you any confirmation again, nothing but any more flow control message is not required. You can send all 10 consecutive frames after this one particular flow control frame. So you do not require any other flow control frame to send the 10 consecutive frames. Suppose if it is having a value like 01 or 02 or any value up to FF, meaning if it has how many value in the place of this 00, ECU is telling I can receive only if the value is 02, it which means it can only receive 02, nothing but two number of consecutive frames, and then EC nothing but, and then client has to wait for the next flow control message. In the next flow control message, if the value of the block size is 05, then you can send only 5 consecutive frames, and then you have to wait for the flow control again. If it is 00, which means you can send all 10 consecutive frames after this flow control, and you do not have to wait for the next flow control. There is no other any more flow controls required for you to send the consecutive frames. Clear? Is it clear, or any do you guys want me to explain again? Hello? Okay, I'll repeat it again bit fast. Whenever the frame starts with the 3, this is called flow control frame. Flow control frame. Okay, the flow control frame concept comes into the picture when you have the more than 8 bytes of data, nothing but multi-frame. When you have the concept of multiple frame, then only flow control comes into picture. If the Okay, this is the client, this is the server. Client, when I say client, nothing but it's a tool or you as a tester. So server meaning it is the ECU. If you are requesting multiple frames of, like nothing but if you are requesting if you are sending a multi frame, so you need a confirmation from the ECU that it is able to receive the multi frame. So that is the reason once after sending the first frame, you will wait for the flow control frame. If the flow control frame is 30, nothing but in the lower nibble is 0, then which is nothing but you don't have to wait to send the consecutive frames. You can send it. If it is 1, you have to wait. If it is 2, then overflow. That is the reason you cannot send the consecutive frames at all. The next byte is, if it is 00, next byte is a block size. If this is 00, you can send all the consecutive frames whatever you have to the ECU at a time. You do not require the any other flow control frame. If it is any value other than 0, 0, which means it could be 0, 1, 0, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to FF, whatever the value except 0, 0, nothing but you can send only if it is sending responding with the which value. I will take 0x or xx. So if it is responding with the xx, then you can send only xx number of consecutive frames and then wait for the next flow control. So in the next flow control, it is sending xx1. Nothing but you can send only xx1 consecutive frames and then wait for the next flow control. If the block size is 0, 0, nothing but you don't have to wait for the next consecutive frames. You can send all, you don't have to wait for the next flow control. You can send all the consecutive frames, how many you have. Clear?
Yes.
Yes. So the next byte is in the flow control 3000. This is flow status. This is block size, which we have already discussed. And the last byte is ST timer. ST minimum timer. ST minimum timer. ST meaning separation time. So assume we have the 10 consecutive frames. 1 consecutive, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Where is? Starts with the first frame 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 and 29. You have the 10 consecutive frames now. So there should be a delay from one consecutive frame to the another consecutive frame, right? You cannot send everything at a time because ECU cannot receive everything at a time. Since it is a serial communication, bit by bit only it will receive. So the ST minim, so ECU is telling you what is the separation time it is acceptable in this particular byte. If this particular byte, the value is 00 to 7F, which means the separation time is 0 to 127 millisecond. Okay. If the value is F12, I will write down here 00 to 7F. That time it is considered as 127 millisecond. If the value is F1 to F9, then it is considered 100 microseconds to 900 microseconds. Any time between the 100 to 900 microsecond. Next is FA to FF is not used. It is reserved for the future purpose. So this byte shows the separation time between the consecutive frames. So if it is 00 to 7F, then which means 127 millisecond. Nothing but you have to send your consecutive bits within 127 milliseconds. And then if the value is F1 to F9, which means 100 microseconds to 900 microseconds. FA to FF is reserved. It is used for the future purpose. So clear? Flow status, block size, ST minimum timer, which is a separation time minimum.
Fine.
Okay, so if it is clear, we will stop today because two concept which we have discussed is multi-frame and also the 27 service. So these are the one important concept in the UDS and which is hard to understand also. So once this is done, then only tough is 19 service. Other than that, all service are easy. No need to worry. So if this is, if you guys have understood this concept, multi-frame concept, then everything will become easy. So is it clear?
Sure.
Okay. No questions from anyone? I mean, I have been taking this class from past 1 week and I don't see, I see regular people who interact. Vidyadhar and someone. So I don't see any others, you know, uh, talking. So is it clear for everyone? Mahesh, is it clear for you? Guru Lakshmi, is it clear for you?
Yes, Hamza.
Is it clear everything?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, fine then. So tomorrow we will see 19 service and all other services are easy. So first we will finish it off the 19 service and then other services.
Ma'am, I have one doubt.
Yeah, please.
While I'm watching the video, there will be a concept of SPR MIB or SPR MIC. What it means?
SPRMIB.
SPR MIB
Sorry?
or MIC? Yes, ma'am. SPR MIB suppress like that it will come.
May I know what is this? I mean, for an UDS protocol?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then I don't know what is this SPRMIB.
A suppressive response. It
Oh,
like that it
suppressive
will come.
response. Yeah, I will come back to that. That is one of the subfunction. So wherever we are
Okay.
writing 80, 01, 02, 03, right? So
Okay.
instead of 01, 02, 03, you will be writing 81, 82, 83. So where you are telling the ECU, whenever you are request 01, 02, 03, you will get the response, right? 50, 01 or
Hmm.
02 or 03. So you
Mhm.
don't need the response where you are a serviceman and you do not, where manufacturer wants to hide it, even the response also. So that
Mhm.
time you have to request not the 1001, you have to request 80, 81. So where 8 mean the sense when you write 8, it will 0000 1000. This is how it is, right? This particular is for the suppression bit, nothing but suppressed bit. So when this bit is high, nothing but when it is become 81, you will not get the response from the ECU like 5001. You will not receive this, but functionality will be done where
Okay.
ECU will enter into the application, but you will not see the response
Okay.
because you have suppressed. You are requesting the ECU to suppress the positive response. This is the concept. Suppression of the
Okay.
positive response. But you are telling only to suppress the positive response, but not the negative response. So if the EC is entering into the application, it will suppress the positive response. Nothing but it will enter into the application, but it will not provide you the response. If it is providing the response, even though you are requesting 81, then it is a bug where developer has not developed his code properly based on the requirement. Okay, so assume ECU entered it like couldn't enter into the application as per your request. You have requested 1081 where it has to suppress the positive response. Nothing but ECU should not provide me the positive response, but it has to enter into the application. So where ECU will finding difficulty to enter into the application due to some of the reason. It could be any reason. As of now, we'll take XX as a NRC code. So that time it will not suppress the negative response. It will provide the it will not suppress the negative response because it has to suppress only the positive response, not the negative response. So it will provide the negative response 7F10 with the so and so NRC. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, I thought of taking this at the end because this is very important for the interview purpose.
Yes, ma'am. I have seen that interview question and answer, so that's why I have doubt on this. So that's why I
Yes,
have to ask.
yes. Yes, yes, yes.
And
Mm-hmm. This I will be taken at the end because these are all interview questions. But yeah,
yes,
anyway. So anyway, it is over now, not a problem.
ma'am,
Please go ahead.
one more doubt, ma'am.
Yes.
Is can is synchronized or non-synchronized? That one, ma'am. Synchronized. What it is? Synchronization or not synchronization?
Synchronization is different.
Okay.
Another one which you said, synchronization is normal sync.
Okay. Non-synchronization.
Nothing but it is not in, sync. I think you are asking not about the synchronization. Uh, can you, remind yourself
Is
what is the word which you have seen it?
as a can is synchronization protocol or non-synchronization protocol, ma'am?
Mm, 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 mm. No, it is not this one. It is you are talking about the communication, I
Ma'am?
think. It is not
Hello?
about, yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you are not talking about the synchronization. I
Yes,
think you
ma'am.
are talking about the,
Yes,
like
ma'am.
how we have the asynchronous and synchronous, not the synchronization.
Maybe.
See, synchronization is different, which we have already discussed. Hard synchronization and the resynchronization. Okay, so if
The
you have
can.
seen it, if the can is, if you are saying the synchronization, it is not synchronization. Synchronization is a process. You are talking about the synchronous communication. You're talking about the communication. When I say
Okay.
can communication is a serial and asynchronous and synchronous, that is a communication.
Okay, okay.
It is not
Yes, ma'am.
about the synchronization. It is synchronous, asynchronous,
Yeah,
asynchronous, and
and
synchronous.
synchronous.
So meaning you in the asynchronous, you do not need a separate clock signal to sync every ECU in the network. In the synchronous, you need a separate clock signal. So if you
Okay.
want me to explain the clock, then it is, whoever is in the ECU student in this batch, you can ask them first. If they are unable to clear, then I will go with the concept of clock, because they will be knowing what is the meaning of clock. So as we know, the what, like, depends on what we will does the synchronization, depends on the time, right?
Okay.
So this time itself is the provided by the clock. It will be provided externally if it is a synchronous protocol, synchronous communication. Since the CAN is asynchronous communication, you do not need any external clock, which is nothing but every node which is connected to the ECU will be having its internal clock itself. That is the reason
Yes.
we call it as this as a asynchronous protocol. This is not the synchronization. It is a asynchronous and synchronous
Asynchronous.
protocol.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Asynchronous and synchronous. Yes. Now I got the point.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
No problem. Any other doubts? Okay. Someone pinged something. Let me check. Hi guys. Anyone create the WhatsApp group? For what?
Any doubts is clarification.
Yeah, we have
So
one
some
of
of
the group, right? So
yeah.
you can post over there itself where you guys get the, the time for the session, everyday sessions.
Okay.
So you can post over there, then I can answer. So any doubts? Any other doubts?
I have one more doubt, ma'am.
Yes,
Don't
please.
think about. There is a active error, passive error. What is the difference between active, passive, and one more is there, ma'am? I forgot that one name. I think it is bus of
We have
right?
discussed, right? Were you not
Earlier,
available in the CAN when we discussed the CAN protocol? Were you not
I will.
available?
At the time, I thought that I am available, but I forgot to this.
Yes, please do watch the recording. I
Yes.
have explained active, passive, and bus off also.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, if you're not getting, then you can ask me. And anyone in
Sure.
the group, I mean, anyone, everyone in this course also, they can, whoever is presented, they can also explain you what is active, passive, and bus off.
Yes,
Because it is bit easy and like it's all about the counters.
ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Any others? I'll wait for 2 seconds. We will close at 9:40. 2
One
minutes,
more doubt.
sorry.
How many classes in remaining? How many sections?
In UDS, I
Yes.
need 3 more classes maybe to finish it off.
Okay. This week.
Yes, this week it will be finished. I have still 22 service, 2E service, 3D service, and then 19 service, 31, 34, 36, 37, and then concept of physical and functional. Yeah, I need it. Okay, so 1 more minute left out. Any other question? Okay, so fine then. Thanks everyone for joining this meeting. Please do contact me if you guys have any doubts. So please do not ping me in Skype because I will not be checking Skype frequently. So please ping me on your WhatsApp group so that I will answer each and everyone's question in the group itself. Okay. Okay, fine then. Thank you everyone. Bye bye. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.